Hey everybody, Steve here in Palm Springs. It's the second week of March 2025, and for those of you who read the news or watch the news, I'm sure you probably noticed last week all of the headline news reports about how Social Security is currently under attack by politicians in Washington, D.C. Social Security started back in 1935, 90 years ago this year, and politicians have been attacking it and trying to eliminate it ever since it first started. Well, because it's such a hugely popular program with pretty much all Americans, they've had an uphill battle until just recently. One of my subscribers recently left a comment saying that trying to eliminate Social Security would be political suicide, but I think as all of us know, there's really no such thing as political suicide anymore. Back in the old days when I was growing up, politicians really had to be careful about what they said and did, or they wouldn't get reelected. Well, that's no longer the case. You can do anything you want and still get reelected these days. Things have changed dramatically just in the past 10 years or so. So I'm not really sure there's such a thing as political suicide anymore. Which means as a politician, you can now go after the most popular program in American history, Social Security, and chances are there won't be any repercussions at all if you manage to kill it. So some of the headlines last week were Musk wants to break Social Security so he can loot it. Social Security nearing total system collapse, warns former administrator. How slashing staff at the Social Security Administration is sparking fears the system could collapse. Trump is coming after Social Security, and he has a new lie to justify it. And how Social Security cuts could put millions of older Americans at risk. Now, those are just a few of the dozens and dozens of headlines about politicians currently trying to figure out very creative ways to eliminate Social Security. So after 90 years of trying, will they finally succeed in 2025? That's the question I asked on this channel. I posted a poll a couple of days ago asking viewers and subscribers of this channel your opinion. I posted it on the community page, and my question to all of you was, do you believe that politicians will finally succeed in killing Social Security this year, 2025? Now, of course, this isn't a scientific poll. It's just results of viewers and subscribers on this channel who decided to participate. And 24% said yes, while 76% said no. They don't believe politicians will be able to eliminate or kill Social Security this year. So, of course, I hope they're right, and I hope politicians don't succeed in their current efforts. But I have a feeling we're going to find out soon. As you know, if you've watched my channel for a while, I try to avoid talking about politics or religion on this channel, just because it can be very divisive and it can make people very upset, but this is a retirement channel, and Social Security is probably the most important aspect of retirement, here in the US anyway. So that would be kind of crazy not to talk about Social Security. And I've also discovered that no matter what I talk about, because of our extreme polarization in the country right now, almost every video I make, it could just be about the weather or about ice cream. And I'm almost guaranteed to get a comment or two about politics. It's just kind of crazy, but that's the world we live in right now. So since I'm already getting hateful political comments when I don't even mention politics, I figure I might as well just go ahead and talk about anything and everything that really is central to this channel, and just do what I've always done with the trolls and the hateful comments, and just delete them. So going forward, I'm sure I will talk about Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and other programs that are important to retirees that unfortunately are under the control of politicians. So it's just inevitable that these topics are going to upset certain viewers and subscribers. But I want this channel to be a place where retirees can discuss topics of interest to us as retirees. So feel free to continue to leave comments, even those related to religion or politics, but just try to be respectful. I think you can say anything you want, really, as long as you don't use names. Don't call people names. Don't name politicians by name. It's important not to be libelous or slanderous with your comments. So if your comments do call people out by name, those comments will just be automatically deleted. And I have a filter set up so that if certain names pop up in your comment, they just automatically go into the trash folder. And of course, any nasty or hateful or threatening comments will automatically be deleted as well. But I encourage you to talk about politics on this channel in the comments section, as long as you're respectful. There's nothing wrong with talking about politics. And it doesn't really matter whose side you're on or what you believe. I mean, I think we all have a lot to learn from each other. Back in the old days, not too long ago, just a decade or so ago, people used to be able to agree to disagree. You could share your points of view and still like each other and not consider someone who didn't agree with you politically an enemy. The media and politicians have been very, very successful in turning us all into enemies, which is pretty much why we're in the situation we're in right now, is because we all hate each other, unless we totally agree about everything. So feel free to share your perspectives, your ideas, your thoughts. We don't all have to agree with each other, but just be respectful and no hateful comments allowed. Those will just be automatically deleted. Just fair warning, don't waste your time writing up a comment because it will be deleted if it's mean and nasty and hateful. So let me read some of the comments that you left. There are 61 comments, and I'll just read some of them here. Yvonne B. says, the drain on Social Security isn't the person who earned it, it's all the ancillary programs that use this revenue. So when people start screaming about taking this away from seniors, maybe they should do some research on where the money is going. I'm not really sure what that means at all. Ancillary programs, are they talking about Medicare and Medicaid? Social Security is completely different. I think the funds are completely separate, so I'm not really sure. Maybe someone can explain what that comment means, or maybe Vaughn can explain in a new comment. Paul Hartnett says, they will attempt to remove some people and maybe pause the yearly cost of living increases. They will also try to raise the age to 70. Yeah, that doesn't seem like such a bad thing, but that's very different than killing Social Security altogether. So Paul is pretty positive and doesn't think they'll be able to kill it or eliminate it. Terry Scott says, I hope this no federal taxes bill passes on Social Security. We did not have taxes on Social Security until 1982 under the Reagan administration, keeping my fingers crossed. Yeah, that would be great, but right now it sounds like they're trying to eliminate Social Security altogether, so taxes won't matter if there's nothing to tax. Yes, Ian on YouTube is a comment I mentioned earlier where he says, no politician will touch Social Security, political suicide. Ian has one of the most popular channels on YouTube, and he's local here in the Palm Springs area. He has a great channel if you haven't already seen it. And like I said earlier, I think in the old days, I think there was such a thing as political suicide. I don't think that concept even exists anymore, but if you disagree, let me know. Checkmate says, I hope not. I'm too old to go back to work, plus no one would hire me anyway, not even for a minimum wage job. Kimmy Ayers says, I want to believe no, but I see what they're doing to Medicaid, and it makes me very nervous. Johnny Santos says, their dream is to privatize it, is my guess. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the options they've talked about many times. Marlene Pearson says, if they do, I may as well hang up my hat. Yeah, I think a lot of people are in Marlene's boat. Im Moose says, I hope not. I've paid into it for 42 years and have never gotten one penny. I hope when I'm too old to work, they don't just decide to get rid of it. Biarritz says, if they killed off the IRS and property taxes, that would be nice, but they need to leave Social Security alone unless they are giving raises. Yeah, that's for those of you who are still working. Many are already retired, so there's no raise to receive. Ingrid Fritz says, they'll certainly try, but it may take more than a year before they really dismantle it. Let's hope so. Sue Logue Johnson says, it's my only income now, and at almost 73, who would hire me? I retired early because after my last job, I was unable to find another job. I hope there won't be any changes. Who knows, though? WDH says, I start collecting this year. They better the F not. Vicky Bell says, no, politicians can't destroy Social Security. I need Social Security to buy food. 9 Lives Lisa, I think anything is possible. Jay Duran says, I like how you use the word politicians when we all know there's only one party that wants to dismantle Social Security. MD Greystone says Social Security will get fixed, but we may go through some challenging times in order to see something viable. I'd suggest having a good rainy day fund and keeping your debt down as low as possible. Batten down the hatches. Well, that's true. Things do need to be fixed, but that's very different from eliminating or killing Social Security. It's a scary thought, but entirely possible the politicians in power now will do whatever they please. The world is very sad watching the U.S. right now. Hang in there. The rest of us are counting on you. Oh, and if you didn't take the poll, feel free to take it now. I'll leave it up so you can take it anytime you want. Or just leave a comment below this video letting us know your thoughts, what you think. Will politicians succeed in killing Social Security this year? And why you think they will or why you think they won't. I'm just curious what everyone thinks. As I'm reading all of these stories and watching all of these stories, I'm thinking, yeah, I think they probably will succeed this time. I'm not sure how long it will take, and I'm not sure if they'll completely eliminate Social Security or just mess it up so badly that it's ruined. And maybe some people will continue to receive Social Security, some people won't. I think they're really going to damage it in a big way. I don't know how long that will take and if they'll actually completely destroy it. And I sure hope I'm wrong. I don't know if those of you who believe that they won't succeed or in denial, or you're just not paying attention to the news and to what they say, because they say it all the time. They said it before the election. Lots of politicians said they were coming after Social Security before the election, and those politicians got voted back into office. So it's not like we didn't know this was happening. They haven't been doing it in secret. I don't see how this could be a surprise to anybody, really. But I do hope I'm wrong. I hope the optimists out there are correct and they won't succeed at this. And so yeah, I'm rooting for all of these news reports to be fake news, as one person left a comment saying it was all fake news. These days, it's impossible to know what's real and what's not, and that, again, politicians and the media have done that on purpose to make it impossible for us to know what's real, what's not, what's fake news, what's real news. So they've been very, very, very successful in dividing us and confusing us and making us believe that night is day and day is night, and that hot is cold and cold is hot, and what we see with our own eyes, we really aren't seeing with our own eyes. I mean, they've definitely been successful at that. So I think if they can succeed in making us not believe in anything we hear or see with our own eyes, it seems pretty likely they'll be able to trick us into eliminating Social Security and then telling us that's what we really wanted and it was really for our own good. So it's an upside down world for sure. Sadly, it's definitely a very scary time for seniors and retirees. So as always, thanks for sharing, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.